Sharma Academy Junior College. As you know that Corona has spoiled the life in 2020, for which we still not able to come to college in spite of getting good results and taking the admission. Somehow we are controlling the excitement of feeling something new in our life, specifically after class 10th exam. But don't worry, Ranjit Sharma Academy Junior College is always in touch with you. I welcome to all of you the physics class of your class 11 standard. Myself, Divyajit Deka, your physics faculty for upcoming 2 years. As you know, you are coming to science streams. You all are energetic, you all are smart, you all are dynamic people. I'd like to meet you in the classroom when all the systems will be okay. I'm telling about the systems. System means this conditions of current time due to COVID-19. It is really a very bad time for us where we should take precautions ourselves, and we should wear masks, we should maintain the social distance so that we can avoid this particular disease from being suffered. So as I told you, I am going to be your physics faculty for upcoming 2 years. I have told my name and I have come to know about your performances in class 10 by your documents you've submitted at admission time. I have seen your face also in the WhatsApp group or whatever the facility we have, and I have come to know about your performance. You all are smart, you all are dynamic, and it will be great fun. It will be a very excellent environment to study with you physics in the year 2020 and 2021 in the great, superb and beautiful institution, number one institutions of this particular district, that is Ranjit Sharma Academy Junior College. I am proud to be a faculty of this particular institution, and I like to carry on my job in order to make your career safe. So let's discuss about physics. You have heard this physics word earlier. What is this physics is? Physics is a part of the science. You have studied general science in class 10, and you know that general science consists of three parts: physics, chemistry and biology, where the biology is going to be divided in two parts, and is geology and botany. But physics is the king of science, where mathematics is the queen of science. What I say, physics is the king of science and mathematics is the queen of science. But the fellows, the beautiful people who like chemistry, they should not be angry with me because I have not taken the name of chemistry. Chemistry is also one of the boss of science, but physics is the king of science, and it's really interesting. What is physics? Study of nature. If somebody asks you what is physics, it's very simple. Physics. What is physics? Physics means what? Study of nature. If you study about the nature by different phenomena in scientific process, that is simple physics. Your fan is glowing, your bulb is glowing, you are driving the car, you are starting the car, you have on the switch, you have turned off the switch. Am I clear? You have listening to me. You have been listening to me now. I am talking. My sound is going to you. You are observing me. You have been able to see me. You are able to see my images. Am I clear? The sun is giving light, temperature. Okay? You are clearly seeing my image. All these things are physics. Very interesting, very important. And after being a scholar in physics, when you will become an expert of physics, you have long career waiting for you. Engineering, medical, all these things. You can be a proper engineer if you write and read physics well. But what is important in case of physics? That clearing the concept, not going to the by hearting process as you by heart all this thing and like Assamese or all this thing. Specifically in the literature subject we go for by hearting. That is not the style of studying physics. Physics is always clearing the concept. Physics is being should be very practical in study. Then only it is possible to crack in physics and to be an expert in physics. So let's not make too lengthy. Once again, I have welcomed you to this great college, Ranjit Sharma Academy Junior College, where you'll find everything you want in case of the study of science. Physics, chemistry, mathematics, all these things will be what it is. It will become an integral part of your life, and after that, your road will be open for medical, engineering, all these things. Ranjit Sharma Academy Group is always ready to help you. Am I clear? So today I have not come here to make you boring. Eventually the lectures of physics is not boring. It's very interesting. It takes away our sleeping phenomena. Your what you if you are feeling sleepy, you go and attend the classes of physics, then you'll be again become energetic. You feel that as you have just wake up in the morning. The things are like that. So today we'll discuss very basics of some physics phenomena, not phenomena, some terms of physics. So if we basically mention about physics, some basic terms of physics, what we see: sound, displacement, distance, velocity, force, energy, power, electric current, magnetism, all these things is a very integral part of physics. But most importantly, you should know all these things clearly without having any doubt. If you have doubt in this particular some basic terms of physics, then it will be it will create some difficulties in further study of physics. So if I straightly ask you what is distance and displacement, I hope most of you know what is distance and displacement, but still I try to again remind you as you have studied in the class 10. So if I write what is speed and what is distance and displacement. So if I write this is distance, I am writing two words you have found, this distance and displacement. Distance and displacement. If I write these two words, distance and displacement, I think you are very familiar with these two words. What is distance and what is displacement? Everybody knows what is distance and what is displacement. What is distance? Distance is what? Total path we travel. Total path we travel, that is distance, and that is a scalar quantity. What is displacement? Minimum distance travel from initial point to final point. Have you got it? Again, I am telling you what is distance. The total amount of path you have traveled, that is distance. And what is your displacement? Displacement is the minimum distance travel from initial point to final point. You have already studied in the class 10, but I am still reminding you in order to make you a clean way to the higher physics. So this is, we'll discuss briefly about distance and displacement. If I write distance and displacement, so if I consider, suppose I am considering a rectangle here. It is a place somehow. This is a area somewhere. Okay, this is the area somewhere for you, And if you consider this is position A and this is position B, this is position C, this is position C, this is position D, somehow we have take. Now if I consider that this is you and this is your friend's house. This is you and this is your friend's house. Now if you want to go to your friend's house, that means you have to go from A to C. Clear? You have to go from A to C as your friend's house is at point C. Now if you want to measure the how many distance is from your house to your friend's house, that means how you will calculate. Suppose say from A to B there will be some distance, and from B to C there will be some distance. Suppose from A to B it is 40 meter and B to C it is suppose 30 meter. So total distance will be how much? 70 meter. Is that clear? So if you go by this way, from A to B how much? 40 meter. From B to C is how much? 30 meter. So how many paths you have traveled? You have traveled how many paths? You have traveled 40 meter plus 30 meter, that is 70 meter path you have traveled. That means what is the distance from your friend's house, from your house to friend's house? That is 70 meter. How we have calculate? We can see total amount of path you have traveled, that is your distance. But what is displacement? As I have told you, the displacement is the initial minimum distance travel from initial point to final point. As you can see here, that this is your initial point and this is your final point. So minimum distance, if we want to measure in these circumstances, then how we can measure? That this will be hopefully the minimum distance from your house to friend's house. Say suppose it is your let it be suppose 50 meter. Now this is the displacement and this is whole distance, whole amount of path you have traveled, that is your distance, and that is your displacement. How can you define displacement? Displacement is the minimum distance traveled from initial point to final point. That you can see this is your initial point and this is your final point. So minimum distance traveled from initial point to final point will be your distance, displacement, and displacement will be total amount of path you have traveled. Okay, and very common thing that displacement will have a direction but distance will have no direction. That is why the distance is a vector, a scalar quantity, and displacement is a vector quantity. Are you clear these things? It's very important, very simple concept, distance and displacements. I'm again telling you, you should not be panic. Don't worry, be relaxed, feel easy, be comfortable. Physics is going to follow you. If you don't panic, if you don't scared of physics, physics is always going to follow you. But if you are panic, physics is say bye-bye to you. Physics will never follow you. That's point, remember. And when you study physics by being very cool by mind. You just become fresh. Okay? You don't study physics by taking lots of tensions of this universe. Once you are studying physics, you don't think what is the mathematical formula of a plus b whole square is equal to. Or you don't think when you are studying physics that what is the trigonometrical function of sine, cos, all this thing, no need. When you are studying physics, think about physics, be relaxed and be calm in mind, and then you see all these things will come to your mind, like the water is flowing from down to up to down level, and it will be very crystal clear to you in a very few seconds. Okay, so how to study physics? Physics is studied by being very fresh, being relaxed, by cooling of your mind. I hope you have cleared this distance and displacement. Okay, One more thing I will take with reference to distance and displacement. We might go to the another topic, that is speed and velocity. Speed and velocity. What is speed and velocity? Speed, if I say speed, if I write speed and velocity, this is a very common word in physics, speed and velocity. The speed and velocity can be defined as, whereas the speed is going to be a scalar quantity, and definitions of speed can be given as distance traveled in per unit time. That is your speed. Distance traveled in per unit time is going to be your speed. What is the SI unit of speed? You can find out. This will be meter per second. Clear? But what is velocity? Velocity is going to be your vector quantity, because velocity will have direction, and velocity can be found as displacement upon time. So in this case, you can see, as I have told you, that distance is a scalar quantity but displacement is a vector quantity. Similarly, the speed is also a scalar quantity and velocity is vector quantity. Whereas you can see in their definition, that is, your velocity is going to be your displacement upon time, and this is your speed gonna be your distance by time, and their unit will be meter per second in the both case. This is speed and velocity. You have come to know. Very important point is to remember that what type of quantity speed is. Speed is a scalar quantity. What type of quantity velocity is? Velocity is vector quantity. How can you find out the speed? It is found by distance by time. How can you find out the velocity? It is by displacement upon time. This is how we can find. One more thing, there's some again basic concept like you can see as motion. What is motion? You have studied hopefully in the 9th standard. That is motion. We know all this thing. What is motion? Once you change your position, I'm standing right here, I'm moving in some other places. That means once a body changes its position, your position should be changed. Once your positions has been changed from one place to another place, then this body should said to be in motion. Motion can be found by, again you can classify motion as uniform motion and non-uniform motion. What is uniform motion? We can find uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Non-uniform motion. This is how we can classify them. Okay, so I have told you what is motion, that a body should be changing its position with respect to time. Then this body should be said in a motion. And you can say classify motion as uniform motion, as non-uniform motion. Remember, I am discussing very basic things of it, that uniform motion and non-uniform motion. What is uniform motion and non-uniform motion? That in case of uniform motion, the body is traveling equal amount of distance in equal interval of time. Equal amount of distance in equal amount of time. Remember, equal distance and equal time. But in case of non-uniform motion, the unequal number of distance in equal number of time. What you have understood? That in case of uniform motion, if I say you that what will be there, the equal distance in equal amount of time. Equal distance in equal time. That is going to be your uniform motion. Whereas in case of non-uniform motion, what is going to be happen in case of non-uniform motion? It's very simple. That is going to be what? Unequal distance unequal distance in equal number of time. Remember, in equal number of time. Understand, na? So this is the definition of difference between the uniform motion and non-uniform motion. What are they? That in case of uniform motion, equal distances in equal time or equal interval of time, and in case of unequal distance, non-uniform motion, then what? That unequal distance in equal time. Okay, suppose a body is moving 5 kilometer in a fast second, 1 second, then again 10 kilometer in the next 2 seconds, and then 15 kilometer in the rest of the 3 seconds. What you can see, 5 kilometer in the 1 second, 10 kilometer in the 2 seconds, 15 kilometer in the next 3rd second. That means their sequences are equal. That in per unit time, how much they are giving, that is what, see, they have got 5 kilometer is the sequences in each of the interval. But if you see 5 kilometer in the first second, 11 kilometer in the second segment, and then 16 kilometer in the 3rd segment, you can see that in this case the distances are unequal but time is the same. Am I clear? So unequal distances in equal time, that is going to be your non-uniform motion. Equal distance in equal time is going to be your uniform motion. That is how we can write, or we can understand what is uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Apart from that, one more particular thing, that when a body is traveling from one place to another place in a constant velocity, then what happens? If a body travels from a particular point to another point, then what happens? Sometimes velocity decreases and sometimes velocity increases. So if I write so, suppose that is change in velocity. Okay, change in velocity with respect to time, that is one more word, that is acceleration. What? That is called acceleration. You have studied all this thing. Acceleration, what is acceleration? That if a body changes its position with respect to time during its motion, then it is called acceleration. How can we define it? Acceleration is nothing but what? It is change in time with respect to change in velocity with respect to time. That is your acceleration. Acceleration has got a negative function also, that is called deceleration. So what is this acceleration? Change in velocity with respect to time. So that is can be expressed as delta v by t. Change in velocity with respect to time. Or also this can also be expressed as acceleration is equal to v minus u by t. That is what? V minus u is representing the change in time, that is change in velocity, whereas v is the final velocity and u is the initial velocity. So that is how we can find the acceleration. There is also deceleration. Am I clear? In case of positive case, it is acceleration, and in case of negative case, when it is a negative sense, that is your deceleration. There are so many topics. Time, as you can find, this energy, work done, force, all these things. We have to understand and we have to be very clear in all these things. But for today, we are not going to make these things lengthy. As you know, this was very introductory sessions for us. And again, I thank all of you for coming to our colleges and to attend our classes. And upcoming times, we'll keep meeting you, and we'll be uploading more videos for you, where you can clear the basics of physics, and you can study further physics in a very easy way. But today, thank you very much.